everybody. It's Jenny J, 1911. So, welcome. Reese, hope you're not talking about me. So I was just laughing because I saw Cowboy Jeff's comment, our celebrity will be fashionably late. Jeff, are we having a celebrity on tonight? Nobody told me. Oh man. So I decided, thank you to everybody for being here that is here. I decided at the last minute, you know what? We didn't have a Friday night date night. I was busy last night, but I thought, why not give a Saturday night date night a try? So I don't know how many people will be able to show up. It was kind of last minute, but we're here and we've got stuff to talk about. So anyway, DJ Play Nice he was the early bird that got the worm. I don't know if he's still here, but he posted at 6:32. So an hour and a half ago, he was already hanging out. Cowboy Jeff is here. Good to see you, Cowboy Jeff. Stephen Hall is here. Thanks for being here, Stephen. And Reese is here. He says waiting is the hardest part, but Reese, you made it. So hopefully that celebrity shows up soon, whoever that's going to be. Echo is here. Good to see you, Echo. Echo's ready for his date. So that's good. I hope you wore your finest, Echo. I expect nothing less than the best. HK, I can't talk. HK Guitar is here. Good to see you. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. And of course, one guest who I know will never comment, but he's sitting right over there. So he's always here. Actually, I think he beats you all for the front row seats, but because he's actually sitting right here in front of me in a rocking chair, hanging out. And I think that if we keep this up too much longer, he's going to be insisting on a recliner because he needs to be more comfortable. So Tim S, hey, good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Okay. So lots of things to talk about tonight. First of all, I don't know if you guys all saw the thing that I posted on YouTube, and I also posted it on TikTok and Instagram. And it is a picture of a revolver. It was, it was a 44. And so we were out at Gateway today. I'll tell you the story. We were out at Gateway, and Les, who is the manager out there, my buddy Les, fishing with Carter. Hey, fishing with Carter and Scott Parker. Good to see you. Came back, Scott. And Keith Gregory is here. Awesome. So, and Treetop Outdoors. Awesome. Oh my gosh, everybody's joining in. This is so great. And just in time for my first story. So anyway, Les says, hey, Jenny, I've got something to show you. And he pulls out a baggie, and it is this Smith & Wesson Model 29. And it was absolutely blown to pieces. So if you didn't see the pictures, check out the community tab on my YouTube channel because it will show you the pictures. So what had happened apparently sometime this week, somebody was out there shooting their Smith & Wesson, and they were shooting their reloads, and they had double charged one of their cartridges, and that was not a good thing. So we were looking, and judging by the cases that they had there with all of this stuff, if you look in the one picture, there are two extra cases. They're kind of crumpled up and crunched up. And so we think what happened was there were still two left in the chamber, and those must have ignited when the one that was double charged went off. So pretty scary, but also a good reminder to all of us to not be distracted, I guess, when we're reloading. It's very important to always pay attention because, things happen. Sometimes you might pull a handle twice or whatever. So always try to be conscientious. This is my public service announcement by Jenny J 1911. So make sure you pay attention to your loads. My advice is what we have on our press is we have one of those little LED lights that fits right down in the center. We always turn that on as soon as we start reloading. So that helps shine light into all of the cases until, of course, you stack the bullet on top. But, every single round, I look in every cartridge as it's going by, or every case as it's going by. Once I charge that powder, I look in there because I know visually how much it should look like. And of course, when we start out, every time we start out reloading for the night, we check our powder. Like, we put it in the scale and check it. So, I get that refresher of that visual. Okay, this is how much powder I'm going to be seeing in my 9mm case. So always pay attention to that. We don't want to have any accidents happen. And, fortunately, I asked Les, I said, was this person injured? And he said, no, just his ego. So he was very lucky, very, very lucky, because he could have lost some fingers. I mean, he could have even had some burns, and he didn't have anything. So he was extremely lucky, but it could have been much worse. So I do see that Treetop Outdoors has given already a super sticker. I didn't know super sticker was a thing. I just knew super chat and super thanks. So I learned something new. So thank you so much, Treetop Outdoors, for starting the wave, as some of you guys call it. I really appreciate it. You guys are so awesome. So Andrew Miller, hello, good to see you. Gun Websites is here. Great to see you. G Webs, Mark Thomas, Gunmetal Guy USA has hit the thumbs up even. Thank you. Yes, make sure you go on and hit the like button, guys. I appreciate that. So there was my first story. If you haven't seen those pictures, check them out on my YouTube, or I don't know, if you want to go over to silly old TikTok, you could look there too, I guess, or Instagram, but YouTube. So, okay. So speaking of Gateway, I don't know if any of you have been watching the news, but in the St. Louis area this last week, we had severe flooding. And unfortunately, Gateway lies in the bottommost part of the river bottoms around here. And that meant that Gateway got flooded. Now, the indoor range did not get flooded. But the driveway leading up to the range was flooded, and unfortunately, all of the trap houses got flooded, and they are still flooded. So that means all of the equipment, everything in there is flooded, and it hasn't receded yet. So Tuesday night, we got a lot of rain. I was driving to work Wednesday morning. Was it Wednesday? No. Monday night, we got a lot of rain. And then Tuesday, I was driving to work. And it was 5:00 in the morning and pitch black. And I knew it had rained all night, but I mean, it's rained all night before and nothing's ever happened. But we got a lot of rain really fast, and it did not go anywhere. So I'm driving, and of course, I hit water, and it sprayed everywhere. It threw my Jeep off to one side of the road. I was like, I didn't even see the water across the road because it was still raining so hard. So made it to work. Our parking lot was flooded. Had to park in a different place just to be able to get in. We had a skeleton crew show up that day because it was so flooded. The waters actually came up to our building. But it rained again that night, and the next night, and the next night. So we've had a lot of rain here, and unfortunately, that also means a lot of standing water. So poor Gateway. We are hoping that Gateway gets, some miraculous drying winds come or something and dry all the water up. We went out there today because Gateway, I have to say, Gateway has been incredibly generous with us. they have given us the opportunity to go out there and record all of our videos before they open in the morning. So they open at 10 o'clock in the morning. So we get to go out there and have a cold range that we can, set all of our equipment, our cameras and our lights and our sound equipment. We set everything up out there, and they just give us, they give us free range, I guess. So we've been so thankful to Gateway Gun Club in Hazelwood, Missouri, and they're just amazing, so amazingly generous. They want us to be able to succeed. And I think, they've been supplying us with extra guns to be able to shoot, and they're just incredible. So if anybody ever comes out this way, make sure you check out Gateway Gun Club, because they've been so generous with us and so supportive. But anyway, today we were out there. So we go out there and, I've got my Jeep. And so we drive through the floodwaters to get up to the building, and it was fine. And we watched car after car after car come up, and they were open. Of course, Gateway was open for anybody that could get to the building. We watched car after car after car come up, look at the water, turn around and leave. And so poor Gateway, because it's not really good for business when they can't get people in there. But we did see one car full of people. They came up and they actually got out of their car and kind of walked the whole edge of the standing water and looked at it and looked at it. And I guess they decided against it, and they got back in their car and turned around and left. So, but there were people who did manage to get through the water just fine. It wasn't as deep as it looked. There were definitely people that could have gotten through, but chose not to try it. And there was one lady, we had to chuckle because there was one lady that called out there to see, if she could get to the range. And she asked, she said, "When are you going to get that water cleaned up?" And we were like, "Well, we'll get out there with the push broom and start cleaning." I don't know what she wanted, but not a very easy thing to clean up. So anyway, all right. So you all know that I got a bull this last week, and I am just absolutely infatuated with that gun. It shoots so beautifully, and I'm very happy with it because it shoots like a gun that should be priced much higher than it is. And we had it out at Gateway this last week, and we said to somebody that was out there, "Hey, check this out and just see what you think it feels like." And so he's a 1911 guy. He really likes 1911s. And so he decided, this is an expensive gun. He hadn't heard of bulls before. And I said, "Well, how much would you pay for it?" And I think he said, like, I don't know, 1,800 or something. And I said, "Well, guess what? It's, we got it for like 800. So he was like, "Wow, that's really awesome." So if you guys have not checked that video out yet, make sure you go watch the bull video. It is so incredible. I would love to hear from you guys if you have gotten to shoot one, because that's really, really, really awesome. So let's see. Okay. All right. And I don't know if you guys saw some comments made in the side chat, but just know that I do have access to block people. So I just blocked somebody who was not being very appropriate on here. And yes, Scott Parker, you are correct. I have an awesome husband, and he has a very nice gun. He has lots of guns, and he knows how to use them. So you're right on the money, Scott Parker. So, all right. What else? Oh, yes. So I have some news to tell you all about. Um, I need to take a little sip of so I actually changed things up tonight. I decided to get crazy. Instead of having my usual water, I decided to go with some lemonade. I don't know if you guys have ever had this. I love this. This is my favorite kind of lemonade. So I thought, my daughter's actually bought this for me the other day. It's been sitting in the fridge just waiting for me to be able to drink it. So my big story or big announcement, I guess, is that I have left my career of teaching. I am no longer teaching in a school setting. Of course, I am still a teacher because I am still a firearms instructor. But I did let go of my teaching job, and it just, if any of you know any teachers, you might hear them talk about the state of education, and probably you guys have also made your own observations about the state of education. There's a lot I can say about it. I won't say, I don't know, I won't bore you guys with the details, but I will say that education isn't anymore what it used to be when I first got into it. And I was never, of course, able to express my opinion. You all know, because you all know that I've said things before. I'm very conservative in my political beliefs, and that's a very hard person to be if you're a teacher. So I decided, actually, for a couple of years now, I've been thinking, okay, I need to get out and do something else that just fits my person and my belief system a little better. And so I've done that, and I actually have a new job. I'm not going to say where I work, but I am working in the firearms industry, not just doing, YouTube and firearms instruction, but I do have a firearms industry job now. And I love it so much. It is just the most amazing job. And I work with the most amazing people. And I actually look forward to going into work every single flippin' day. I look forward to it because I know, I work hard. And I am physically exerting myself like never before for a job. My jobs have always been mental before. But now I'm doing something that's much more physical, and I am just having the time of my life. And, it really helps that I am working with people who, most of them have very similar opinions or beliefs as I do. And they are so relaxed and funny and kind there. They've all been very patient with me as I've learned this whole new job. And, it's just been one of those things. They have quickly become my family. And that, of course, I think I've told you all before, that is who I'm shooting on a trap team with too, is with my company. Now, it is an extracurricular trap team, but we represent our company. So, it's just been so much fun. And I had an offer to teach fifth grade at a very nice school. I have nothing against the school at all. I had a fifth grade teaching job lined up, ready to go. But I turned it down. I said, I cannot leave what I'm doing. I have to stay where I'm at because I've never been happier at a job. So, that's where I'm at. But, there are a lot of things that I didn't agree with in education. For example, I will tell you guys this one. One school that I was teaching at this last year, I taught at two different schools this last school year. And so one of the schools I was teaching at, um, they sent out an email right before the end of the first 9 weeks. They sent out an email, the principal sent an email to all of the staff, wait for it, saying, you cannot give any student a grade below a C. I'll say it again. The email said, and I still have the email because I forwarded it to my personal email account and screenshot it. It said, you cannot give any student anything below a C. That meant that the students could be tardy every single day, which most of them were. It meant that the students could hand in 0 work. It meant that the students could never follow any rules. It meant that they never had to participate in any classroom exercises or discussion, and they still would not fail. There is something so wrong with that, and I just could not abide by that anymore. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. I've worked with a lot of teachers. I've worked with a lot of administrators. I've worked with a lot of parents and students. Parents have no respect for education anymore, which means that they don't enforce any kind of respect for education with their child. So the students come to school. They have no respect for the teachers. The administrators are too busy coddling the parents and the students to bother to take care of their teachers. So, I guess teaching is the right place for some people to be. It's not the right place for me to be because I just don't agree with pretty much anything they're doing. I know a lot of you probably have an opinion one way or the other about CNN. And I used to show CNN 10 in my classroom regularly just because, it's 10 minutes of youth. I guess it's written for students. And so it's 10 minutes of current events written for students so that they can understand it. And I used to show that every day, but then, and it was pretty neutral. This was, years ago that it was neutral, but then it started getting a lot more politically charged and only in one direction. It was definitely not unbiased. So I didn't want to show that anymore, but I did see other teachers, still showing that. And this last year, one of the schools I worked in, one teacher taught only certain things about American history. They didn't teach anything about the foundation of the country or, how, what our belief system was set up on or anything like that, what drove people to even come to this country. It was like certain facts and events were being not necessarily erased, just not taught because, if they're not taught, then people don't know about them. So it's like they want these things to be forgotten. And I just don't know. I just couldn't do it anymore. The stress of it, the stress of having parents always mad at me, blaming me for their child not being able to do something when, you know what, if you want your child to be able to function as a student, maybe you should send them to school on time or even send them to school, period. I had one student that would miss 3 days a week. He didn't have any health issues. He didn't have any family issues. There was nothing going on. He just would miss 3 days a week. And, that's not okay. And there was never any kind of truancy expectations put in place for that student. And when you have a student that misses that much school, there's never any way to get them caught up. There just isn't. So I don't know. So anyway, I don't want anybody to worry about me. I have had people who have kind of chastised me, and they're like, how can you walk away from teaching? Oh, it's easy. Trust me, it's very easy. So I just, I am so much happier where I'm at, and we joke around, we laugh. We get to talk about guns all day. I mean, what's better than that? So I'm very, very, very happy now. That also means, I have to get up a little bit earlier in the mornings. I get up at 4:00 in the morning now, but you know what? It's all good. I'm a morning person, so I'm fine with it. Let's see. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and see if I have too many comments. Of course, I have a few comments that I've missed. Okay. Oh no, Critter. So Critter says I cast 468, 450, 452, 200 bullets yesterday, including my thumb. So Critter, man, I hate to tell you this, but I don't think you got a lot left to give. You better be protecting your digits. I mean, you're already short on some limbs, so protect your fingers. Oh, geez, Critter. Yeah, everybody's like, yeah. Mark Thomas says, "Hi, Critter. Hope you've been well." Well, I think Critter will be better if he's not casting his thumb. Just don't shoot it. Don't shoot your thumb. Stephen Hall says, congratulations on a new path. Thank you, Stephen. I really appreciate that. And Cowboy Jeff says, I will always be his favorite teacher. Thanks, Cowboy Jeff. You know what? Honestly, like I said, I still think of I will always think of myself as a teacher. And, honestly, like I am still getting to teach. And not only am I getting to teach, I'm getting to teach people that want to be there. These are the people in our firearms classes that want to be there. And I am helping them learn something that's really good. I'm very happy that I can help people learn this skill of how to shoot or shoot better or shoot more confidently, shoot more safely. And so I love that I'm able to do that. So I'm still a teacher, and I will always be a teacher. So yeah, lots of people saying congratulations. Family members people have family members that are teachers. Cowboy Jeff says, I know a few teachers that have left as well and will not return. Yes. And Reese says public education has become indoctrination. It has. And, honestly, I tried very hard to walk that very fine line of meeting the requirements of education, what was expected of me, and still teaching what I felt was very important for the students to know and understand. I mean, this is why I have all these flags behind me, because this was one of the things. American history was so, so, so important to me, is still so important to me. And, I would always teach the kids these things, always. I had a student one time that asked me, I had the Betsy Ross flag in my classroom, and she raised her hand and she said, why do you have the flag of slavery hanging in your classroom? And I said, oh, teachable moment. So we talked about the Betsy Ross flag and what it means, and how it came to be, and why people still fly it. It's an important part of American history that we don't want to lose. So yeah. So anyway, Smeggy is here. Howdy to you. Okay, so Critter says, you mean you can't be a green-haired, tackle-boxed face berating parents about their conservative teaching values, and they have to reprogram their students? No. Yeah. a lot of parents, and not all my parents, but I did have a lot of parents who frowned upon, I don't know, just teaching American history even. So I don't know. I also had, I had a lot of parents who were supportive of that. I can't box everybody into one classification. There are always exceptions, but unfortunately, as far as being an educator, there were definitely expectations for things we could and could not talk about, things we could and could not have opinions about, unless your opinion fit a certain agenda, kind of the double standard there. So, yeah, it was frustrating, but I don't need to worry about it anymore. And, I feel bad that I had to. There were definitely some students, and I know that I reached students every year. And I feel bad that, I've kind of abandoned that, but I couldn't take the stress anymore, honestly. So Brian's custom canvas is here and just got in. Wee back row, top balcony, fire exit door. Now, I will tell you, Brian, it's not always bad to sit in the nosebleed section. One time I went to an Eagles concert and we had nosebleed seats. And right before the concert started, an usher came up and she said, "Everybody in this row right here, come with me." Well, I was in that row. So we went down, we followed her down. They had reserved, I don't know if it was the venue or if the Eagles had reserved it, but we got to sit in the very front row and it was just incredible. So sometimes it pays off to sit in the nosebleed section because, I don't know, maybe you'll get a surprise and you'll get moved to the front row. You never know. So let's see here. So Smeggy says, my cousin taught 5th grade in Detroit. He ran a library out of his room with personal books because the school had nothing. Also, his kids were getting books written for 1st graders. Yes, that is absolutely, absolutely true. I had thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in books alone, just so I could have my own personal classroom library. Because I wanted my kids to always have something to read. I wanted them to never be able to say, I can't find anything to read. I had all kinds of books, all levels of books, and I spent so much money on doing that. Now I'm just going to sell them. So they're in my garage, boxed up in Rubbermaid totes, and I don't know. Hopefully they'll go to somebody else's classroom and somebody else will be able to use them. Treetop, you just gave money again. I see. What does this message say? Got to get up early to smoke ribs for Mrs. Treetop. Check out Treetop Barbecue. Awesome. Well, you know what? Mrs. Treetop is very, very lucky. So if we weren't going to Passall Park tomorrow to shoot, maybe I could convince Mr. Jenny J 1911 to smoke ribs for me. He is a very great rib smoker. But thank you so much, Treetop, for donating. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure your ribs are going to be delicious. So let's see. Scott, your oldest daughter left teaching this year too. Scott Parker, we have so much in common. I'm so glad that you're here, Scott Parker. So I don't blame her, Scott. And you've probably heard a lot of the same stories that I just told. She's probably told you I could tell stories for days and days and days. And I don't know. I won't, but I just suffice it to say I could. Let's see. Mark Thomas uses the same program, I'm guessing CNN 10, and calls it out when it's being biased. Yeah, and it does happen. It definitely does happen. All right. Oh, MCF MCF, thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. DJ Play Nice, you got a split. Okay. See you later, man. Thank you for being here for a little bit. Treetop says he's so glad he doesn't have young kids. It's pathetic. I know. Brian's Custom Canvas says, Jenny, my niece was a teacher for 7th grade for about 20 plus years, and she is so glad she retired at 55. Yeah. I think I'm just going to tell people that. I'll just say I retired from teaching. I mean, it's kind of true. Didn't get any like retirement benefits yet, but no, I definitely do love what I'm doing now. So and like Brian's Custom Canvas just says, do what you love. You only have one chance in life to do it. So you go, girl, get after it. Thank you. I agree. And I am so much happier. And honestly, like this job that I'm working affords me the time. Here's another thing. It affords me the time to be able to keep up with my YouTube stuff. And the YouTube stuff is going really, really well. I cannot believe that I have, I don't know, so many guns that I have been getting to shoot and review lately. I have one gun that I got to shoot and review last week and that I haven't posted the video on yet. That is the H&K 45. And I also did today I did the CZ Shadow 2. So that's a video to look for. I'm going to be putting out. Yes, I finally got to shoot a Shadow 2. And it was awesome. But tomorrow we're taking it outdoors to shoot steel with it. And so that's going to be the real fun part. I'm so excited. So got to shoot that, got to shoot a Ruger 1911. So, and that one is thanks to my boss. He said, yeah, I've got a Ruger 1911. And I said, can I borrow it? He said, you want to do a video on it? And I was like, yeah, I am Jenny J 1911. I've got to do 1911 reviews. So that's another one. Got to shoot that one today. So that's a video to look out for. So yeah, I cannot believe that this channel is taking such a dramatic path. I mean, February 11th was the first video I posted, and I cannot believe that I'm here on a Saturday night with my subscribers and my viewers, just, putting money out here for, what I'm doing, and supporting me. People listening and supporting me. That's what I just can't get over. So it's just been amazing. And so having this new job affords me the time to be able to do that. I get off work at 2:00 in the afternoon. I mean, how awesome is that? I am off at 2:00 in the afternoon. That gives me so much time. I can come home and reload. I can go to the range and shoot. I can edit videos, lots of editing videos, lots of recording videos. And this means that I'm going to be able to, start putting more content out more frequently. And I'm just so excited for that. I mean, it's just so awesome. All right. So let's see here. Keith Gregory asks, what is the tattoo on my arm? Okay. So I know some of you have heard this already before, but I'll tell again. So Keith, thanks for asking. I am also a rock climber. My husband and I both rock climb and ice climb. And so when I started rock climbing, well, let me see here if I can't turn my arm the right way. I can't figure it out. There we go. Okay. So my tattoo this is a rock climber. If you see, if I turn my arm this way, maybe, you can see that, my camera is backwards from what I'm actually looking at. So I can't get my directional sense unskewed. So this is the rock climber. She's obviously climbing up this mountain. There's her ponytail kind of coming off the back there. This is the rope of the belay line sticking out here. And there are pine trees right here. And if I move my arm the right way, there we go. There are mountains right there. These are just watercolor splotches because I love blue and green. And a triangle. I like to say that's for the Holy Trinity. So when I started rock climbing, I weighed about 35 pounds more than I do now, 40 pounds more than I do now. And I was just at kind of a transitional part of my life. And I had met my now husband, and he was a rock climber. And I said, oh my gosh, I've always wanted to try rock climbing. And so he said, well, meet me at this climbing gym. And so he and his son were there and went to the climbing gym. And the people at the gym, they said, well, you need to be like, you have to show us that you can climb up the wall on this auto belay. So they have like a little pulley system at the top. And so like there's an auto belay that you hook into with your harness. And so I did that. I climbed up to the top, climbed. It was so super easy. And I was like, that was cake. And then they were like, okay, come back down. I looked down. I'm like, how do I do that? And they were like, you just let go. And I was like, I can't let go. And they're like, you got to let go. That's the only way you can get down. So I let go, and I was terrified. I mean, it was not even a tall wall. I mean, now looking back at it, it was silly that I was even scared, but I did. I let go. And as soon as my feet hit the ground, I was like, oh my gosh, I am in love. Like I loved it so much from the very get-go. And so that was actually last February. So a year and a half ago, February, I started doing that then, and I turned 45 in August last year. And a couple of months before my 45th birthday, I called my husband up. I said, we were still just dating at the time. I said, hey, crazy idea. Do you think that for my 45th birthday, we could go climb Devil's Tower? He said, no. He said, that's a pretty big climb. And I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Well, about 2 minutes later, he texted me a link to the Devil's Tower Climbing Lodge. They had a guide service there, and it was basically like a bed and breakfast with a guide service. So 2 days before my 45th birthday last year, we went to Devil's Tower and climbed it. And I got up to the top. And so, in anticipation of that trip, right before that trip, I knew it was coming. I knew I was going to be climbing Devil's Tower. And I went and got this tattoo because rock climbing changed my life. I realized, I don't know, it just really helped me center myself and helped me believe in myself a lot more. I didn't have as much self-confidence before I started rock climbing, and I started rock climbing, and then I realized I can do hard things, and here I am, it's been amazing. And then for our honeymoon, we went ice climbing. I had never been ice climbing before. That's a whole different monster right there, because when you're ice climbing, some of this stuff is solid sometimes and some of it's not. We climbed up in Munising, Michigan, and it was unseasonably warm, maybe because some of the frozen waterfalls we were climbing, we could hear the water trickling behind it or in certain sections of it. So you'd be climbing up and you could see through the ice. It was so clear. You could see through the ice, the water trickling down behind it. So you knew, it was melting in parts. And but then it's also very tiring. You have your ice axes, and so you're driving your ice axe and your arm is always up over your head, both arms, and you're driving the axes into the ice. And then you've got crampons on your ice boots, and those have blades that stick out the front of the boots. So basically you're driving those in to the ice too. So you're standing with your toes driven into the ice and then swinging your axes up and, constantly going up the ice. And that was hard, in a whole different way than rock climbing, honestly. And but it was so exhilarating and so much fun. So that was a really long-winded explanation. Sorry, Keith, to my to my tattoo. I could have just said it's a rock climber. So, but hey, it's Saturday night date night, right? And we're all just hanging out. And so why not? All right. Let's see. What comments have I let get by me? Walter Bunning is on. Great to see you, Mr. Bunning. Mr. Bunning survived teaching. If anybody on here doesn't know who Walter Bunning is, he's done everything. He's just one of those guys that's done everything. You could actually go, if you haven't seen it, I did a live with Walter Bunning. It's way back in the way back of the Jenny J 1911 videos, but I did a live with him and he has literally done everything. I mean, I don't think there's anything that man hasn't done in his life. So he's just a very interesting guy, and he does have a YouTube channel and he puts out awesome videos. He's a reloader, so make sure you go check his YouTube page out. MCF, I lost my login information for Patreon. Once I get it back, I'm getting on that awesome Jenny J 1911 Patreon train. MCF, thank you. So yes, actually I should talk about that. I've had a lot of people ask if I have a Patreon. I do. I set it up months ago. When I first started all of this business, I set up a Patreon. I didn't really even understand what it was. And so I kind of looked into it and then I was like, what am I supposed to offer people? Like, what do I offer people for, different tiers? And so the first thing that I came up with, so there are 3 tiers. We've got the 22 long rifle, then we've got 9mm, and then we've got 45 ACP. And so you can join any of those tiers. The first tier, the 22 long rifle, you actually get access to a chat called Jenny J 1911's Reloading Bench, and you get to join that. And so it's just like a continuous chat. Basically, the side chat that you guys are having now, it would just always be there, and you could just go in and chat. So, so there's that. Then for the 9mm, that's for $3 a month. You can join. And then for the 9mm, that's $10 a month. You get Jenny's Reloading Bench, the chat. And then you also get access to exclusive content. So there will be videos that I make that only those people at that level on Patreon will be able to access. And then the 45 ACP level, I have my notes here that my husband just handed me because I had written this when I made the video. Let's see, for $20 a month, you get the previous 2 tiers perks, as well as behind the scenes content and a live chat, or live chats, not just one live chat, but it would be live chats with just us. So smaller setting, more personal. So there's that. And, I may tweak those as we go, find out what other things my subscribers would want or be interested in. We'll probably do, once we get a merch line really up and going, probably do a discount on that too. Just because, there's no reason for you guys to pay full price on merch if you're paying on Patreon every month. So yeah, there's that. So I have that set up. All right. I'm going to head over to my comments here. Let's see. Cowboy Jeff says, I'm going to retire as well. Homelessness is going to be the future. but all in the excitement and adventure. Yeah. Cowboy Jeff, you're either going to have to sell some guns, or which I know you can't because you lost them all in the boating accident, but which, I'm so sorry. This is actually, I will say, this is actually a support group for people who have lost firearms in boating accidents. And I'm so glad you're all here because we can all support each other in our immense loss of our firearms. And I'm very sad for all of you, but let's see. MCF, can you recommend a 1911 or 2011 duty weapon? Has to be at least 4-inch barrel and 9mm, 40 S&W, 45 ACP, or 10 millimeter. Well, MCF, you know what I'm going to say. I mean, I am going to tell you that to look into the bull. And I don't mean look into the bull like the bull, like, BULL. I'm talking about bull as in bull armory. Look into the BUL. Honestly, like those are just incredible guns. And I really, really, really want to get one of the smaller bulls for a carry gun, at least for a winter carry gun. Just because they are so reliable. We're going to go out. We've fired, I'm trying to think now. We took the bull out again this last week. We went to Ultimate Defense and shot it. And our buddy Dave, who works out there, he's so awesome. I love Dave. Every time we go out, Dave is just the sweetest guy. So he was working that day and we said, hey, come out and shoot this new bull where we have it out here on the range. And so he came out and he shot it. And I think he really liked it too. And so I will always recommend a bull unless they do some drastic changes for the worse. I will always recommend the bull. The only thing I want to change on our Commander that we just got is that front sight. It's blacked out. I would really like to have the green fiber on that sight instead. And so I think, we'll get like a Dawson sight installed on that and I'll be very happy. The trigger's amazing on it. I love 1911s just for personally the weight of 1911s and the safety features of 1911s. So that would be my recommendation, MCF. Brian's Custom Canvas says, CZ Shadow 2, sweet. Yes. So far, so good, Brian. I can't wait to go plink some steel with it tomorrow. It's going to be amazing. All right. Let's see. People are talking about getting banned from YouTube for certain things. So, Critter says that he did shorts of his casting, but since I can't film and cast at the same time, YouTube can't say much. Yeah. Hey, Wiley Thompson is here. It's great to see you, Wiley. Scott Parker says, don't you have to have good knees for that climb? So I think Scott Parker, because he is one of my husband's buddies, I think he's kind of teasing my husband right now because being that Scott and my husband roped together, they're roping buddies. I think Scott knows that my husband has terrible, terrible knees. And yes, Scott, you are correct. And you might have seen something about one of his posts on Facebook when he climbed Devil's Tower about his knee. One of his knees ended up being swollen so bad. Yeah, you have to have good knees to climb Devil's Tower or to really do any substantial climb like that. And so, Scott, I think you know my husband's knees, and I think you know the answer to that. He's going to really appreciate. He'll probably send you a message and say, hey, thanks for making fun of my knees. All right. See what we have going on here. Walter Bunning says that video was back when Jenny was only 12. When we did that video together, Walter, the live, back when I was only 12. Yeah. Cowboy Jeff says he'll never sell his guns. He doesn't care how destitute or poor he is. He's never selling his guns. I think that's a sound idea, Cowboy Jeff. Let's see here. John H is here. Hey. Yeah, he likes the idea of the boating accident support forum. Let's see. Okay, Mark asks a great question. Jenny J, what do you think of ATF going to people's homes and confiscating their guns? That's what I think. Oh man, did I just spit all over the camera? Probably. I think the same thing we all think, right? We're all thinking it. So I think that it's terrible. There is nothing in this world that can make me believe that they are doing that in anybody's best interest. So, I think we've all seen the video of the guy basically now this circulated. The ATF went up to his door. They said, we want to see your guns. We know you just purchased some. And, just go ahead and bring them out here on the porch. If you don't want to let us into your house to see them, just bring them out here. It'll be fine. I guess, the best advice I've seen floating around is to tell people them, that you're going to contact your attorney and that nothing's going to happen until you've contacted your attorney. So if that were to ever happen here in this house, that's what we'd be saying, Okay, MCF. Ooh, MCF, that's kind of almost like a Christmas present, isn't it? He said, my wife just handed me the mail. Mule deer tags for me and my 14-year-old son. First big game dad and lad hunt. We both got drawn. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And MCF, I saw my first mule deer on my trip out to Devil's Tower. In fact, we took a practice climb the day before we made the actual climb. We did some practice climbing on Devil's Tower. And there was a mule deer doe standing there watching us climb. And I mean, she was just like, she was so close to where we were at, and she was beautiful. So that is so awesome that you get to go mule deer hunting. That's really, really cool. Reese says, any CZ, sweet. Yes. Scott Parker, he did, LOL. Yep. We say this as he's rubbing his knee right now. Actually, I think it's bringing back some bad memories. Hello, it's me, 22. Hi, good to see you. It's okay that you're late. You're fashionably late. I'll forgive you. You got the nosebleed seat with Brian's custom canvas, so you guys can pass notes back there and keep each other's company. Let's see. Okay, so Reese says, hi, thanks for stopping by. Have a warrant? Smile. Just give them the Jenny J smile. Just be sweet and innocent about it. Say, nope, sorry, not today. Brian's custom canvas says 14th Amendment. Yes, exactly. So I'm going through my notes here. I want to make sure I'm getting to everything. I've talked about the new job. I've talked about the upcoming videos, the gateway flood, the bull, the double charge. Talked about that at the top of the show. So I also wanted to tell you all, we have the hats. And oh my gosh, my poor hat guy. I felt so bad because for some reason, and I've emailed him before, I don't know why, but he emailed me and told me that the hats were ready to be picked up. and I don't know why, but the email went into my spam folder. So I didn't even know that the hats were ready. I feel just horrible about it because the poor guy probably thinks, well, geez, she ordered these hats and now she's not even responding. I did order the hats, and so now that I know that they're there, I can go pick them up. So there will be details about pricing forthcoming. Can I borrow your hat for a second? So in case you haven't seen what the Jenny J 1911 hat looks like, this is nice and warm. This is the hat right here. It's beautiful, and it is. I have one. This is my husband's, but it is a very comfortable hat. See, I can't even get it tipped the right way. There we go. Very comfortable hat. He says it's the most comfortable hat he's ever worn. So, and I would agree with that. I really love wearing mine too. I wear mine at work sometimes. So that's what it looks like. And yeah, super, super comfy. And it's got the Jenny J 1911 logo right there. So if you're interested in a hat, watch for details because everybody loves hats, right? So we'll be getting those out too. Vic Hindery, good to see you. Glad you're here. He says, fingers crossed that the Supreme Court steps in and stops this communist regime. Yes. Communist regimes are the pits, and that is not what this country is supposed to be about. So hopefully we have some luck on our side, or at least some sensible people. All right, so the hats and components. I wanted to talk to you guys about components. We've been seeing a lot more components pop up. I think yesterday alone, we got maybe, 12 or more notifications from shootingbot.com that primers were available. So they're out there. They seem to be surfacing a little more, so keep your eyes open. Powder, I don't know. It doesn't seem to really be too much of an issue. Everywhere we go, we're seeing powder. I know that Shields, we've seen a lot of posts in our reloading forums about Shields having primers. Even Academy Sports has had primers. Now, I will say the Academy Sports in St. Peter's, we did go there yesterday. We had some other things we were looking for, but they did not have any primers there. They said they haven't had any primers for like a year and a half. So, but there are definitely some Academy Sports that are getting primers. And so that's good to know. Places are starting to get components back in again. So if you haven't started reloading and you're interested in starting reloading, you should definitely start thinking about that. And also, don't forget, if you want to start reloading and you haven't become a subscriber yet on Jenny J 1911 YouTube, become a subscriber, and then you will have a chance at winning a beautiful Dillon RL 550C reloading press. Yay! So yeah, make sure you like and subscribe. And tell your family and friends, because you know what? They may not, if they subscribe and they win the press and they don't want the press, who are they going to give it to? They're going to give it to you, right? Because you're the one that actually would use the press. So I'm just saying, get family and friends to subscribe. And we are very, very close. Right now, my subscriber count is... Let's see. When I looked earlier, I'm going to give you the exact amount because when I look, it went up another one. My exact subscriber count right now is 1,941. We are so close to 2,000. So hopefully once we hit that 2,000 mark, we'll just fly right up to 5,000 so that I can give away a press to one lucky recipient. I would love to be able to do that. So, all right, Walter Bunning is signing out. He's getting back to editing his videos. he's going to be doing a casting video that turned out to be a lesson on how to pressure fill a cavity. Well, that sounds interesting. And Brian's Custom Canvas says, interesting, Walter. See, we're on the same wavelength there, Brian. John H. says, great idea. Better odds than that Illinois lottery. Yeah, no kidding. Better than a lot of things in Illinois. So, yeah, unfortunately. Oh, by the way, I have to show, he's not here tonight, but I have to show what I have sitting here on my reloading bench with me. This was my friend, Michael Dunn, that sent this to me. And yep, so I always have this here. This is a toy, YouTube, so don't get freaked out. But, as we all know, this, if you didn't see the video, all of this stuff functions. Here, let me hold it up against the white background so you can see the backstrap safety works, the magazine release. Yeah, see, I pushed it and it just fell right out. It's got the little teeny tiny cartridges in there. Yep, the slide works. Turn it this way so you can see. The slide works. There's a little round in the chamber there. The trigger works. And of course you have to push in the safety. So yeah, it's just super cute little toy. It doesn't actually fire. But emphasis on toy or model, just so, people don't get freaked out. So yeah, but it was really cool little gift of him. So thank you to Michael Dunn. And it's always there. I try to have it in my videos. And we're actually looking at getting inline fabrications system set up here on the wall behind me. Not sure how I'm going to work that out with the flags and everything, but I want to get some shelves up here. And so when I do, I'll have this up here somewhere so that it will always be in the shot, even for a live stream, so that you guys can always see that adorable little 1911. So, Hello, It's Me says 5,000 subscribers will be impress live, Jenny. Oh, impressive. I see my contacts are dry. I can't see. Will be impressive, Jenny. Get it. Oppressed. Very good. Very good. Can always count on Hello, It's Me to make some of the best and some of the worst puns. Oh, man. All right. Well, I am going to be out. My husband and I are going to go on a little date. So, you guys were my first date of the evening, and now I'm going to go spend some time with the hubby. So I'll give him his hat back, and we're going to have a nice evening. Tomorrow, we're going to be going to Passaw in Barry, Illinois, and shooting lots of fun things and recording some video to add to our awesome, videos. We're going to do an update on the bull so you can see the bull outside too. And, oh, yes, I wanted to tell you, first of all, be on the lookout for a safari video. Think a little bit about the Easter egg hunt video. And there is a safari video in your future, Jenny J 1911 subscribers. So we will be putting that out. I would like to be able to get that out tomorrow night. So I don't know. We'll see if it happens. Depends on what time we get back from Passaw, but that's one. And then also, here's a little teaser for you all. If I have any Star Wars fans in the house, watch for a video. Watch for a video with a Star Wars theme. And that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So watch out for that. That will be coming up sometime soon. So anyway, I hope you all have a great rest of your weekend. Thank you so much for everybody tuning in at the last minute. on a Saturday night. I'm sure a lot of you have other things to do. So I'll let you get back to it. And I cannot wait to talk to you all again soon. Bye.